This one. Test.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, I see it's time. We'll call the February 28th meeting of the Town of Somerville Planning Commission to order. First order of business is the approval of minutes from special meeting on January 19th of 2022. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any corrections, additions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Stand approved. Next order is the election of chairman and vice chairman for this coming year. Do I have any volunteers?
I nominate you, Jim.
I second.
Nomination in a second. Or any,
The nomination to close, Mr. Chairman. Second.
we have a nomination for, and a second, and for closing the, let's make it hard, for closing the nominations. All in favor signify by saying aye. Now, the main motion of a election for chairman, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it. I need a vice chairman. Nominate Mr. Carroll.
Second.
Any other nominations? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Election is done. Next on the agenda are public hearings. First is a petition by M&T Real Estate LLC to annex Dorchester County TMS numbers 14506050006 and 14510020042 located at 227 and 229 Stallsville Loop, totaling approximately 1.10 acres, currently zoned CG General Commercial in Dorchester County, and will be zoned GB General Business upon annexation to the town of Somerville's municipal limits. It's in Council District 3. Is the petitioner here? No. Does anyone? Does anyone wish to speak to this public hearing? If not, we'll close it and move to the next order of business. Next order is request to rezone EMS 00-021 and 022 221-00-00-008 216 and 217 730-00-000-021 and 022, located off North Maple, Old Dairy Road, Island Road, approximately 48.83 acres, owned by Dustoff 22 LLC, from AC Agricultural Conservation to GB General Business, Council District 1. Okay. All right, it's a crosshatch area on this plan. Is the petitioner here for this one? Excuse me. Wait.
Hold on, he's asked for the petition.
Ask for the petition. You want to tell us about?
Sure. Hey, good afternoon. My name is Andrew Smith with Ravenel Commercial Properties. Can y'all hear me? Representing the Dustoff 22 LLC ownership in the planning and development of the Dustoff properties. At this point, there are no specific development plans for the properties on the agenda today. We have recently been working with the CVA group, which is Jason Ray and Tom Massey, who own the properties adjacent to us on to the right, to the east and west, mostly along the North Maple corridor. And as part of that, we've been working with them on planning for water and sewer and everything that's going to be coming down and serving these properties, as well as shared access in certain areas where it made sense along shared borders. We're currently planning to convey them a sliver of a piece of land needed for shared access. And as part of that, it needed to be rezoned to general business to be incorporated into their property. So we met with Jesse Schuler and determined it would make the most sense to go ahead and rezone all of our property to general business to conform with what is going on in the corridor and the adjacent properties. So that essentially is the reason for the request at this time.
Okay, thank you. Now, does anyone else wish to address this action? If so, please come up, sign the sheet.
Derek Joe Delaney, and I live at 250 Adamshire in Weatherstone, and I'm looking at these maps up here, which I had tried to see one before the meeting and couldn't. And I have concerns, like, I can see where my house is, and there's a pond behind it, but how old are these drawings? I mean, it doesn't show the ponds in our subdivision, anything.
They wouldn't, these are primarily maps of the plats.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it looks like it's a stream or.
It's a zoning map, so all it shows is the color of the zoning. It doesn't show any of the actual structures or ponds or any of that.
Well, you know, like I said, I can see where my lot is, I just, you know, it seems to be lacking a lot, if it doesn't show that type of detail. And I can't tell by that how close it is coming to our pond.
I think the concern that everybody has is, this is residential. Is this going to be zoned commercial and we're going to have commercial properties behind us, or is this going to be more residential properties coming in? And if so, between the new property, the zone that you have back there, is there going to be a buffer zone between the current residents and the zone there or not? Because pretty much what's happened in our neighborhood, and I've been in it since day one, is
Excuse me, sir, you want to come up and address this? So,
Do you have a
please.
fair map that will show all the features that we can see?
I don't know of one just offhand.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a map that shows all the features. You could go onto our zoning and turn on the imagery, I guess, but we don't,
Yeah.
I've been out of town for about a week, the last time I looked.
I mean, the plat shows a wetland, but it doesn't, it's the plat of the property, not of the surrounding properties.
Will the wetlands be mitigated?
Again, they don't have a plan for this property yet. There is no plan in place. This is simply a rezoning application to make it consistent with the zoning along the rest of this corridor, which is already zoned commercial.
right. So if it's zoned commercial, is there going to be a
Could you
buffer?
please sign in before you address?
While I'm still in, it doesn't even show the wetlands, like there's a large part of that bed that is wetlands. Are they gonna mitigate it or what?
Ma'am, they're not to that part yet. This is just the rezoning. They have not planned for the property yet at all. That's a separate process.
Yeah, the wetlands are going to be wetlands regardless of what the zoning is.
Okay, another question. Have they had an environmental impact statement done and approved by the Corps of Engineers?
There is no requirement for that as yet,
Will there be one with, because we are talking about wetlands?
depending on the plan.
So if this is commercial, my name's Gary Henry and I live on Bellafield. I've been in this community since day one, up from Brian. And the problem I've got with this is from day one, nothing has been transparent about this neighborhood. We're surrounded by commercial area and we're basically being squeezed in. So if you're gonna do commercial in this area, let us know what's going on. Because at the end of the day, when we're finding out like this, even the signposts that you had put out wasn't put out on the 11th of February. They were found in the ditch. I found them in the ditch and posted them so people could see them. So the transparency from Somerville to this neighborhood is non-existent. So if this is a commercial zoning, what is the buffer between the residential and the commercial zone going to be? That's my only question.
The signs were put out at that time. We can't control if someone goes and removes them.
I walk that every single day and those signs were not.
We
there.
have pictures of them placed. I promise you they were put out on that day.
Yeah. that's-
So they were put out, we take pictures to show that we put them out. There was advertised in the paper. We can't control if someone goes and removes the signs. So I apologize for that if it wasn't in place, but I promise you they were put out and it was like a lot of signs because we have to put them out everywhere it fronts the road. Well, it has to be where the property is.
Is there gonna be a buffer between?
Yes, there will be a buffer required, 30
Yeah.
feet.
Are you gonna build a natural barrier between?
There is vegetation required in that buffer, yes.
Excuse me, one at a time, please. Sir,
Yes, my name is Byron Tony and hello, Jess.
Hi, Byron.
Long time no see. I used to be on the tree committee with Jess. Anyway, just to clarify, she's already answered a question that I was fearful that there would be zero buffer, like the storage that came in on Barnfield within feet of the couple homes.
Mm.
No buffer at all. 30 feet. So is that going to be parallel to the entire boundary line of Weatherstone, Jess?
Yes, everywhere that the business backs up to
If
the
you-
residential property would have that 30-foot buffer requirement.
So they won't touch any of those trees. Bushes and trees will be left behind.
In the buffer area, they should be left behind, yes.
Excellent. Okay. So I assume that would be surveyed. The 30-foot boundary line?
Yes, again, they aren't to that portion of
Right.
development yet. And honestly, the only property we're talking about right now is the property in the hatching.
Yeah.
The rest of it is already zoned commercial and was actually previously zoned industrial in Berkeley County.
Right. Yeah, I was
So,
just up here to make sure that we go on record
but yeah, and this will have to
regard to
go,
wanting a,
this development will have to go through our DRB process where you'll see those specific plans that show the ponds and show all that stuff, but they're not to that point yet. All they're trying to do is rezone. I don't think they have any idea yet. Honestly, they are simply rezoning this right now because the property to the south, this property here is looking to develop and needs a sliver of land and they can't combine with them if they don't have the same zoning.
okay, well, thank you. My name is Byron. My last name's Tony. Seems to be backwards, but that's what it is. Thank you.
The question I want to ask, what's the yellow? I have other pictures of it, that Robin Lane,
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
and the red is the one,
The red, this red,
red is rezoned, right?
the hatched area is what's being requested for rezoning. The kind of red with the cross hatching across it.
The darker red.
Okay, what I'm saying is that probably I live in Washington Road, and all those will be houses on Maple Street or
So the area that they're looking to rezone is just the area that has the black cross hatching on it
Yeah.
over the red. And they don't have a plan for that development yet, but it will not be housing.
yeah. Because the reason why I call, I almost once a week I always have people calling want to buy my house and stuff like that. All along that little Sarah Street. They must be planning on building. But when they gonna start widening the road
That should start this year.
this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I got. Sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
anyone else?
My name is Renee Isaac. I'm a current member of the Weatherstone Homeowners Association Board of Directors. I think we are all here today because there are some, very valid concerns about this land. Part of this land that you're requesting does back directly up to homeowners' properties. They've already been in clearing some of this land behind Delafield Drive. We've had several complaints from homeowners that there's, it's very noisy. There's not enough space between whatever they're doing and their back gates or their backyard. I think basically what everybody here is looking for is, and I realize we don't have this today, but if this land is zoned, business or commercial, like the rest, I think we would request more detail before we approve that today. I think that you have to think of, we're already a struggling neighborhood because of Bear Island in general. And I also realize I'm told that the road was planned years and years and years ago before the neighborhood was there. I understand that. But we're already seeing an increase in people trashing our amenity center. Unauthorized use of our basketball courts. We're having to spend money out of pocket from the association dues because we have to repair these things. We have to keep them up, to current standards. And I think rezoning more land commercial is going to be very detrimental to the neighborhood. I mean, look how many people are here today just from the neighborhood. It's 4 o'clock on a Monday. I'm supposed to be at work. I took time off work to come and speak today. So, I would just request that, if it's truly going to be something, great for the community, then that's, something we discuss. Maybe we can work with the developers and coming up with, some kind of solution that would buffer the sound or help, detour, people walking through into, the people's backyards. If this is going to be some kind of a gas station or, convenience store or whatever it may be, I think that needs to be discussed up front and not, we don't want to be surprised. We were already surprised enough with everything that happened on Barnfield. You've got those businesses up against people's backyards. It's loud. They're industrial businesses that are making lots of noise. So we just want to be in the loop. We want to know what's going on. I don't think that's too much to ask. You're talking about people's homes. So.
Well, anything done in there will go through the design process and the design boards here in town, which are all public meetings and advertised. Any commercial property has to go through that design review process.
And what does that review process entail?
They review the entire site plans, the aesthetics for the site. They can't determine what uses and if it's an allowed use within the zoning, but they can determine where it's how the site is designed, and particularly if they know that there's concerns from the neighborhood behind. And what I can do is if any of you would like to be contacted when any of these properties, and not just including this one, but any of these along this corridor go before that board, if you can give me your email address, I can let y'all know when that will happen.
Perfect. I can give you the board email address.
Okay, if that's the easiest way to do it and y'all can send it out to everyone, that's fine. That would be good. And I can let y'all keep y'all in the loop so you don't have to keep checking the website because we don't put signs out for DRB. But we do post it, but we don't the website, but we don't put signs out. But if you give me your email, I will let you know.
I can do that today.
Okay,
Good news.
thank you.
That big red area used to be industrial, and just now a lighter commercial grade, so that's already been a benefit to your entire neighborhood. No more barn fields there.
On Barnfield, you mean?
No, the big area, the big red area above the crosshatch. What was in Berkeley County.
Yeah, all of this that was in Berkeley County was zoned industrial in Berkeley County. And when it came into the town, it was changed to the general business.
Yeah, that's
So this is just a random question because I don't know. Why is it zoned? I mean, I was told that when these houses were built, that was all protected land. and then nothing could ever be built there.
Who
Is
told
that
you that?
not correct?
That is not correct.
Sounds like the developer told you that.
Were you told, when you said you're an original owner? Were you told that?
I would never play it for them.
When you said the original owner paperwork, I looked at that and see if you did that.
So many trees around the house will eventually be cut down and build something else.
Yeah,
Okay,
so, okay, well, thank you.
thank you.
First of all, this city is supposed to be a flower town in the pines. And the more and more buildings you're putting in, it's either storage units, banks, convenience stores. It's already out of hand with the commercial, all the businesses here. You can't even handle the traffic on the roads. The roads are backed up all the time. And the one thing that concerns me with living on Delafield is at this point, my ground, when I walk in the backyard, all the grass is mushy. Well, when they put in whatever they're gonna put in, they're gonna take down all these trees again, and it's gonna be far worse, you know, in the whole, I would say that, are your grounds like that too? Yeah. I mean, the more things that go in, the worse it's gonna become. And now I was told by the town, somebody in the town here told me that the trees were not supposed to be taken down. They took down the house that was back there, but there are trees being taken down because if you go down Bear Island, there's the paths on both sides and it goes down. Now, if they need to get in there for surveying or anything, they have the old Beagle Road that they can go on and they can go through. But, you know, but when is the destruction of this land stop? I mean, it's already on overkill here. You know, it's hard to get out either way, you know, whether you go down to Bear Island to go out or you go the other way. You're always backed up in traffic. But I'm concerned, you know, a lot with that water table. I've been woken up many mornings at 7 o'clock in the morning because they're out there doing something and it is loud and it is obnoxious already. And that's it.
All right, thank you.
I just hope you stop the building, you know.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Mcculloch. I also live on Delafield Drive. I'd like to reiterate what everybody else has said. I think some very good points have been made. I would just like to say that I'm very concerned about this being just general business without us knowing what's going to go in there. I was relieved to hear that there was going to be a buffer zone. I think that will help with if this goes through and something comes in. But I guess my thought is, why are we just giving the carte blanche? Why can't we go through this process when there's a plan for what's going to happen with the land? Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Good. Just had a quick question. So if you do plan on developing behind Belfield, you say there's a 30-foot buffer. Will the businesses that end up developing there provide a barrier between the business and the tree line that exists 30 feet? Is that something that will be on them to provide to ensure that the people on Belfield, if this development goes through, is protected from people coming off the business and potentially entering other people's backyards and such?
Yeah, the buffer designs are all spelled out in the ordinance. I can't quote them off the top of my head, but they are set forth in there as to what sort of physical barriers and what sort of vegetation has to be planted and all that sort of thing to keep the noise down and to keep egress from taking place.
They're not always fences involved.
Not always what?
They're not always fences involved. Often it's vegetative buffers.
All right. 10-4. Thank you.
Okay, if there's no one else, I'm going to close the public hearing. Okay. The next order of business is proposed amendments to the Somerville Unified Development Ordinance. Chapter 2, Section 2.5, Mixed Use District Standards, and Section 2.7, Conventional District Standards.
I wish we had side by side comparison of this versus.
I'll just briefly explain the proposed changes. I'm sorry. So for the section 2.5 mixed use district standards, we're adding a note 9 to the maximum lot coverage. Which is the note is for townhomes, lot coverage will be calculated for the entire site if the site is a part of a larger plan requiring stormwater permitting. What we found is that particularly in the NR area, the 50% lot area is very difficult to achieve with townhomes if you go on a lot by lot basis. Whereas if you do it as a whole, it's achievable, but on a lot by lot basis, it's almost impossible to meet. So that's what that change is. The second change,
Excuse me.
yes.
That refers to stormwater again? Did you say?
So it's the impervious surface that we're stating that the 50% would be for the entire development rather than on a lot by lot basis as it typically is calculated. As long as a stormwater permit is required, like if it's part of a larger development. Now, if it's just a single lot, then it would still have to do that 50% for that single lot. And then in the condition 2.7 conventional district standards, it happens to be another note 9. The one over here, the note 2, that's just a correction. That was a error, but over here adding a note 9, and actually it needs to be added for all of these, not just MFR, but MHR, NB, and GB. In those districts, townhomes are allowed as a permitted use. However, a townhome lot is never going to meet the 50-foot lot minimum. And so we're just adding a note 9 that says for townhomes, the minimum lot width at front setback shall be 15 feet, which is what it is in the townhome zoning. So it's just, it was just an oversight when we did the UDO, we just, because we hadn't gone through the process, we didn't realize that certain things were going to come up that would make something impossible, even though it was technically a permitted use.
Typical cleanup of stuff you find when you implement.
Yes, sir. And just to, like I said, it only shows note 9 on MFR, but it would actually be on all 4 of these here. All the ones that allow townhomes as a permitted use. Those are the 2 changes.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Is there anyone else that would like to address this hearing? Seeing no one rise to the occasion, we'll close the public hearing and move on to our next business.
We do have some street names for approval. So let me read those out for you. I did not get them in time to put them specifically on the agenda, but that's why it's always on here. So, oh, sorry, that was loud. So for, we have townhomes that are going in near Martin Creek Apartments, and they've got 2 roads and an alley they'll need names for. We only had 3 names that were actually had no conflicts with the counties, but I'll read them out to you. Joel's Drive, Goat Alley, and Telluride Lane. So we would just need approval for those 3.
And where are these located?
It's for a townhome development off Martins Creek Boulevard.
I love the names.
Jesse, what was the first one again, please?
Barry Shoals Drive.
Not even near water, right?
Berry as in like a berry that you eat.
Oh, Barry.
Yes, sorry.
I want to live on Goat.
Goat Island, that's an alley.
I want to have some goats.
Yeah. Okay, do I have a motion on the street names?
Motion to approve is read.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Okay, and we
Those
do.
opposed, the ayes have it.
And we do have one more street name as well on a different area. Another street name for downtown Nexton. The 2 streets, we only need 1 street name, and there were 2 that had no conflicts. The first is Guild Street, and the second is Consortium Way. Guild as in like an artist guild.
Oh, okay.
Any second budget?
Consortium Way.
I make a motion for Guild.
Guild, yeah.
Consortium, they'll never spell that right.
I have a motion and a second for approval of Guild Street. Any further discussion?
They're not gonna spell that right either, though.
I'm moving in favor of the dyslexics overcoming their disabilities according to your co-chair there, and go for consortium as well on the next motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Okay, the next order of business is the aforesaid petition by M&T Real Estate LLC to annex Dorchester County TMS numbers 14506050006 and 14510020042, located at 227 and 229 Stallsville Loop, totaling approximately 1.10 acres, currently zoned CG General Commercial in Dorchester County, and will be zoned GB General Business upon annexation into the town of Somerville's municipal limits, Council District 3. Do I have a motion?
I move to annex these 2 properties into the town.
Second.
Have a motion and discussion. Any motion and a second, any discussion?
Yes. I just want to point out that these two properties, I was once a resident of 220 Stallsville Road, which is where Galleria Shopping Center sits now. And at one time, that was all considered the village of Stallsville. And Stallsville actually had a post office before Somerville did as a village. So, but I think the death knell has already, the bell has already rung its death knell for that area.
And we did set aside church over there as
Oh, that
a
was,
historic.
Jesse, on the map, the church property, the Stallsville Methodist Church showed as commercial. It showed as red. Shouldn't it be a different color?
Well, it can be commercial, but it's also, I think, part of the historic district.
It's actually the house on the other side of the property that's in the historic district. That's this one. That's why it has that brown outline.
Right, yeah. So that was the only thing that got preserved.
That's the only one that was brought into the historic district. The church was not.
No.
The ones over here that are not in the town yet, the ones in white, also front, yes. Those, one of those holds the house dates back to the 1800s because, well, actually, all of those structures that are within that little area are quite old.
Yeah.
And need to be on the historic.
Well, we can't put them in if they're not in town.
Yeah, they're not
Does
part of town.
Stallsville have its own historic, or these spot historic for the town? of
This is
Somerville?
all. this is
It's
all
spot for Somerville. It's just like we did the county office buildings as part of the historic district,
Okay. Even though it's not contiguous. it's-
even though it's not contiguous with the rest of it. It's
Okay.
isolated.
So learned something today. Thank you.
Jesse, did I
was
read that
not
they're going to put
recommendation.
medical offices in there? Is that the plan?
That's my understanding from them. Yes.
And the church is in a commercial because they can exist in anything?
Yes, sir. And the property behind that's still in the county is zone commercial in the county as well. So it's,
But that part behind it has a cow and a bull on it.
oh yeah,
They
and I'm
found
not
by
saying it's
mistake.
developed as commercial. It's just,
And lots of
it's
water.
zone
I
commercial.
drove down there, looked over and said, what are they doing here?
Any other
They were here
discussion?
Before we were.
Yes.
Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Next, we have the request to rezone TMS numbers 130-00-000-021 and 022, 221-00-00-008, 216 and 217, 730-00-000-021 and 022, located off North Maple Street, Old Dairy Road, and Bear Island Road, approximately 48.83 acres, and owned by Dust Off 22 LLC from AC Agricultural Conservation to GB General Business and Council District 1. Do I have a motion?
I moved to rezone the parcels.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Yes, just for the record, these 7 parcels as a unit are bounded in the north property starting zone, and this map also in the south. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So this would be consistent with the existing property already in the county.
Yes, sir. It's consistent with the surrounding zoning along that corridor and also consistent with our comprehensive plan.
I think some of the guests left, but just to answer some of the questions. When any plans are developed to or prepared to develop a property, they will have to go through time before the town. Citizens of Weatherstone, other citizens will be allowed to comment on that.
Yes, sir. They can attend the DRB meetings. Yes, sir.
Any further? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
No,
One opposed, the ayes have it. Next item. Proposed amendments to Somerville Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 2, Section 2.5, Mixed Use District Standards, and Section 2.7, Conventional District Standards. Do I have a motion? Have a motion. Do I have a second?
second.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion. A call for the question. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Seeing nothing else on the agenda, I will remind everybody that it's time for training again this year. It's real easy. I finished mine already, not to brag, but I finished mine already. And it's,
That is bragging. Yes.
but it's in the present mode, which I hope we maintain, but we may not once the COVID restrictions are relaxed more and more. But right now, the webinars are real easy to pick up, and they'll send you a nice email with a certificate attached that you can.
Suitable for framing.
Suitable for framing or
Oh,
even
and-
more suitable for delivered to town hall to mark your training.
Yes, and I also wanted to introduce y'all to Remy Clark is our new planning assistant. Raise your hand, Remy. So he is the one who will now be sending you the training emails to remind you, or when we have
Oh,
webinars available that y'all can attend. Pam has moved to the planner one position and Remy has taken the planning assistant position.
great. All right, do you have anything else for us?
I do not.
You do not?
Next meeting is the 21st of March.
That sounds right. Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, we're done with the fourth Monday. We're back to the third. Yeah.
I'm back to.
And then we're meeting on the 15th.
Yes, sir. The 15th at 6 p.m. for that joint meeting with the BAR. Yes, sir.
And that is here?
That is here. Yes, sir.
I should.
All right, hearing nothing else, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? All right.